are we going to see a continuing ceasefire and actually, practically speaking, ending the war? There are different reports coming out from different sources on these days regarding that. To the best of my assessment, when I'm looking at different components on the ground, my answer would be that it is more likely that we will see at some point the resume of the Israeli wide-scale military operation in Gaza Strip. We have to remember that for the time being, the major cards that the sides are holding in their possessions are as follows. Hamas holds the cards of the hostages, and particularly talking about Israeli soldiers and males that Hamas captured. Now, one of the major issues in that regard is to remember that on October 7th, when Hamas conducted the massacre of the Israelis who were participating in the Peace Festival, many of those Israelis were young people in their 20s. Hamas apparently is trying to somehow claim that those people are actually soldiers, which is of course not the case. Just the same, from Hamas perspective, it would like to monetize as much as possible that card, because reminding you again, Hamas aims to release all the more than 6,000 Palestinians imprisoned in Israel. So Hamas, from its perspective, will try as much as possible to monetize that card. It is less able to monetize the card of the civilian hostages. That's the reason why we saw so far the release of the hostages, even though, as I said before, Hamas is trying as much as possible to prolong that phase of releasing the civilian hostages, because it goes back to Hamas' major interest at this point, trying to prolong the ceasefire as much as possible, hoping that by doing that, in the end of the day, it will stop the Israeli military momentum, and it will result in a permanent, ongoing, continuing ceasefire, and practically speaking, the end of the military Israeli campaign.